Well, I'm just going to lean back, going to put my feet up, and I'm going to let you and Aaron hash this out. Sort of
Raymond.
Sort of a cage match coming up here. Pardon me a second. I don't know where I heard this. Maybe it was you can tell me that your support of this idea was reluctant at best. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, let me tell you the story because it's kind of funny, maybe not paying a great light on my attendance or my attention. But as we're there hearing the bill from Representative Rodney Lyons about increasing unemployment benefits from 284 to, I think it was an even 300, let me look real quick, to 312. Mm-hmm. It's currently $284 a week maximum, and he wanted to increase it to $312 a week maximum. Well, they lay amendments beside us as amendments are presented, and I've got a set of 3 or 4 amendments beside me, and I just happen to glance at the top one, and I start reading it, and I see a back-to-work bonus, and I'm like, what? We're going to pay people to go back to work? Well, at that time, they were talking about another set of amendments, and I start talking about this, and I'm like, what are you talking about? We're going to pay people to go back to work? And anyway, the secretary of the Workforce Commission goes, no, that's not in this bill or whatever. And then my committee members look at me, and I can tell in their face I'm looking at the wrong set, and I have to apologize myself because I was getting ahead of it. But yes, this was a former colleague or a colleague in the committee proposed this amendment to Representative Lyons' bills of increasing the weekly benefit. His intention was, hey, listen, we've been talked to for years about increasing the weekly benefit and unemployment, but we don't want people taking this forever. We don't want them living off of this. So this amendment was proposed to say, hey, if you take this $1,000 bonus, you cannot go back on unemployment and claim benefits for 26 weeks. So his intention was to prevent people taking the bonus or getting these bonuses and not working. He's like, well, get back to work and stay working instead of continuing to come back to the unemployment side.
So what is the status of that proposal as of this morning?
Well, as of this morning, those amendments are on the bill. So it's got to go before the floor is the next step. I actually don't know what date that'll be. Let's see. It will probably be today or Tuesday. I'll have to check on that. I'll check that while we're talking.
Raymond.
Oh God!
I just don't want you to be dead to me. So I want to try to convince you not to vote for this. Because please think about the healthcare workers, the first responders, the grocery store workers, people that have worked all through this thing. And now you're giving the fatted calf to the fat arse people who won't get off their butt and go back to work. Do you see that? Do you see how that rubs a lot of people the wrong way?
Oh, I definitely see that. Matter of fact, my suggestion is to get off of this CARES Act funding altogether because we're having a serious problem getting people to work.
The thing is, let's cut off the benefits. Other states have done it. Let's stop giving the benefits, and that will, you know what? You got to go back to work now.
Yeah, that would make sense, but that's really in the governor's hands, and as you know, he's not a big proponent for that action. Matter of fact, yesterday we got a pamphlet on our desk, and this is embarrassing. We're number 1 in the statistic now. We have more money as part of our budget coming from federal funding than any other state in the union. 45.1% of the funds in our budget come from the federal government.
Mr. Raymond, on the other side of that coin, if I might, when I first saw the proposal, when I first read about the idea, I kind of recoiled myself. But then after talking to a bunch of people who were as conservative as you and as conservative as me, they made the case that you're making right now. And in fact, it was a hell of a good point by John Kay from the Pelican Institute yesterday. Small businesses in Louisiana are not only competing against other businesses for workers, they're competing against the federal government for those same workers who's paying them more. Basically, all the people right now that are still getting the federal COVID unemployment money, for lack of a better term, they're employees of the government, and the government's paying them a hell of a lot, aren't they?
Oh, yes, they are. I mean, I'm glad it's come down. It used to be much more lucrative, but it's slowly come down, and now it's $300 a week from the pandemic unemployment assistance or something like that. So don't just think they're getting this $284 that they are currently from state unemployment. They're also getting $300 a week from the federal unemployment. So when you're getting nearly $600 every week, what is your incentive to go to work now?